Hello, everybody. How's it going? Welcome to episode 7 of 316, a super fun Space Marine role playing game. When we are doing a special operation today that we'll get into in a little bit. I hope everybody's doing well. I know I'm doing pretty well. I had a really fun this week of episodes of games, which is always nice to have. My Tuesday D&D game's going really well, and that's sort of like this high concept D&D game. My Wednesday game, my Torchbearer game, is just out of the park, super fun. I can talk for days about that game. My Jungle Crawl Classics game's a lot of fun as well. We're really getting into we're done the funnel and now we're doing our level 1 stuff, and just the gold for XP and just the way DCC handles combat is just all this swingy, competent, incompetent, oh no, what's going to happen drama. Boy, it's exactly what I want. And speaking of exactly what I want, it's Saturday, which means it's time to kill some aliens. And I'm going to throw it over to the alien master themselves. John, how are you? How's it going?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Yeah, I mean, killing aliens, there's nothing wrong with it. That's the best part. And we never have to really think about ourselves and who we are and why we're committing all these genocides. So let's just not really think about that too hard at this point in the campaign. Um, no, it's good. That's something I love about this game. The dial can turn all over the place, and it can just be straight up fun, and it can also be very thoughtful and interesting. So I think we're riding that line, which is what you do when you play 316. So what have I been up to? I have not been gaming every day the way Eric has. I admire your endurance, your ability to, especially doing them all on stream. Although you're not producing all of them, right?
No.
There's at least one that you're just a player in, I think. But still a lot of work, and good on you for getting that going. I've taken a break from crap movie bonanza. But there is a piece of media I wanted to call out today, which was this new show on Stars, which is also, you can get that through Amazon channels or whatever. That's how I've been watching it. It's called Counterpart, and it stars J.K. Simmons, who I love. You may know him from Whiplash, or from he's J. Jonah Jameson in the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies.
Oh, okay.
A great actor, and this is a very cool, stylish thriller,
Sci-fi?
A bit of a sci-fi component to it. The less you know about it, the better, probably. The central premise is kind of in the trailer and stuff, but it's really well done. Just great acting, great cast overall, good storytelling, and it's doing that thing that's so rare. I mean, you never know how it's going to turn out, but there's a kind of mystery or meta plot thing, and it's not really dumb, and they're handling it in a way that's interesting and not just a bunch of exposition and stuff. So the pilot really gave me a lot of confidence that they're going to do something cool with it. So
one more time, what's the name of the show?
Called Counterpart. If you're into I don't know what, it kind of reminds me of that when the X-Files was really good, or Fringe, or that kind of thing, but a little less of a ensemble week to week problem solving thing, and more of a personal kind of thriller drama thing. Really cool. Counterpart. I think tomorrow is episode 2. And it's weird because I usually don't like to watch shows and for the episodes to come out. And Allison and I were kind of debating, I don't know, should we just wait until the whole season's done, or should we start it? So we started it, and now we can't. Now we're screwed. We have to watch every week. So
you have to watch television on a weekly basis.
What a drag! That and The Good Place are like the only shows that I'm willing to do that with. Which is also getting extremely awesome. I mean, that show started out great, but man, the storytelling on that show is so good. The current situation on The Good Place is just fantastic. So that's me. Media update. I guess that's what I do on the show. I talk about what I'm watching. Strash, what about you? What have you been up to?
Well, if we're going to be talking about media, I am super pumped for Altered Carbon coming out next week, which is like, I started out being not super pumped because it's like I don't know if they can pull this off. It's kind of a hard book series to try and visualize, but it hasn't. They definitely, the trailers and some of their featurettes and stuff have really kept me super hyped. So that's what I'm going to be doing next weekend. But in terms of gaming, also have a game every night of this week, except for Friday when I did game design. But I guess if you folks like me and you like Eric, maybe on Sunday, you can check out Kelsa Delphi's channel. We're going to be playing some Band of Blades, which is dark military fantasy, which is slightly kind of like a counterpoint, I guess, the fantasy element, at least to the sci-fi in this one. So hopefully that'll be fun and exciting. And just started a game of Girl by Moonlight. So I play magical girls on every other Thursday. So that's a thing that's getting streamed.
Also dark military fantasy.
No, actually. Am I starting to get into a rut?
Kind of. It's not a bad.
Yeah. So
right, do your transformation.
we have giant robots. I will say that. But yeah, that's. I've been busy. Been doing some designing. There's going to be some announcements here in actually next week, and there's going to be some cool stuff happening there. So that's pretty much been my life and kind of my update. What about you, Morgan? You got anything happening?
Yeah, I just I've kind of one game that I'm in on is on a break, and that's Star Wars: Edge of the Empire, and that's been a lot of fun. And then we just finished up our 1920s Dresden Files game, which was crazy and had PC death and like nearly take two PCs taken out and then one other PC getting killed. So it was fighting Fey Lords and gods and evil Kremlarian necromancers. Pretty crazy. A lot of fun. And then I'm doing on Savings Throw show on Twitch. I'm doing Black Bag Detectives, so 1970s detective show meets Cthulhu with Fate. So that's been fun. Just going on every Tuesday night at 8 Pacific.
Nice. Wait, what channel is that on again?
The Saving Throw show.
Saving Throw show, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I need to turn my notifications back on for that channel so I don't miss that.
Okay. Yeah, and how about you, Eric?
Yeah. I just wanted to throw in that. Yeah, I totally saw your your face and your super wide collar costume for Black Bag Detectives, which was really cool. Yeah, no, because my Tuesday game wraps up, and then usually when I'm doing the VODs and stuff like that, I like to turn on another channel and just listen to them, and waiting for YouTube to finish processing those videos and stuff like that. And lo and behold, there I see you in the bottom right corner, super flayed out. But man, that was a crazy session. Yeah, you definitely. Yeah. I don't know who the GM is for that, but
that's Wes Otis. He does Plate Mail Games Audio, which is the dungeon tracks that you can just play on a loop, and are like hundreds of them, and they're great.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but man, that you're getting some creepy stuff, which I was like, it's like. You guys went from, the police. I know you guys were at one point in a precinct, and then you went off to go talk to some other people, and it was just not. And it turned into some pretty crazy testing
the
stuff, and
gets a lot.
Yeah, a lot of testing on people, and it was scary and what you're supposed to do. And so, anyways, yeah, that was cool. Yeah, all right. And also, what else is cool is this game and killing some aliens. So, John, did you do it previously on?
Yeah, let's do it previously on.
Okay.
What happened last week?
I'm
gonna mute myself.
I have a snazzy recap if you guys want.
Oh yeah, totally. Do you have is it a transatlantic accent? Previously, our heroes are.
I don't know that I would call us our heroes, but
last time on 316.
Yeah. The Nazis advanced through Europe. Sorry.
I think so. Last session had a couple of major sort of like arcs and points. The first of which is we had really tense crossing across the pipes that were kind of severed, and then we got attacked midway through. People were falling off, and then one of the pods started detonating, and we had this like epic moment where we risked everything on having our dropship like tilt upwards, and all of us like fall into it like a basket of eggs. So yeah, there was that. There was the clearing of the next pod. There was like the whole station starting to fall apart. Us zooming in to try and help the other squad. Some massive firefights in the sky, and then rescuing the remaining tech. There was like some drilling of holes into the remainder of the base and like dashing through for that last second save. So yeah, there was a lot of planes and lasers and beam weapons, and our CGI budget like totally crushed it last episode. And then flew back up, got to the ship. There was a a moment where Young tried building an esprit de corps by pinning medals to everyone in the middle of like the awful anthem playing every 5 minutes whenever somebody new was announced on a medal. And then afterwards, there was a big party. We got to learn a little bit about Goodman and the fact that he has a sister and occasionally thinks about him. Then we got pulled into a briefing by Captain Hall, who told us that we're going back to the planet even though there's nothing there, and she desperately wants an egg. So she wants to like retrieve an egg of these alien creatures in order to study it. And I tried convincing her that this was impossible, but of course Pasternak was a little too friggin' helpful there, and started explaining that yeah, it might actually be possible. So now we're stuck on a mission going below crush depth. And last we saw, I assigned Pasternak and Carson to come up with a solution that's not going to get us just outright killed at the beginning of the mission. That's pretty much what happened last time on 316.
So Patrick, so the three technicians, it was of the three technicians, it was Patrick who died. Carson, Rebecca are alive.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I mean, remove the rip from Carson and put that down. Okay, perfect. All right, thank you. My notes were wrong.
Carson made it.
Yeah.
And was assigned as Pasternak's partner in the technology project. Don't flushed project.
Operation Let's Not Die.
Exactly. So yeah, Captain Hall, it was obvious, I think, that she wants to get back to her previous life and her medical career in the fleet and not be in charge of this this company anymore. That's her general plan anyway. And one way to do it is to continue the like, let's capture alien specimens for the weapons division kind of thing. The Weyland-Yutani method of alien harvesting. So that's where we left it. And this week, I think we're going to jump right in. Our lieutenant is going to give the briefing. So time has passed. It's been a few days, maybe. And we're back in the briefing room. This time, instead of the kind of nighttime ambiance when you met Captain Hall in a sort of informal way, this time it's lights up, day cycle for the ship. Both platoons are in. The chairs have been rearranged from sort of dining configuration to briefing configuration, so they're in ranks. Everyone's sitting like with fire team by rank. The briefing screen is lit up, and Lieutenant Young is standing at the front of the room by the briefing screen. Lieutenant Tyrrell is also standing there, like slightly behind Young, sort of standing at ease. Again, Tyrrell's made it very obvious that he's going to skate by as long as he can in this weird situation that the rejects have been like thrown together on this little ship, and clearly does not want like real leadership responsibilities. And it seems like Young is okay with that so far and just taking the reins. So Tyrrell's going to let that continue, practically just filling an extra corporal position. So I think we have our display there, the map of the objective area on the screen behind Young, and take it away, Strash.
Cool. So I think that there's this moment where everyone's like chit chattering. They're like in their seats, but the briefing hasn't started yet. And Young initiates briefing mode by very loudly, so that it cuts through the din, saying, "Listen up, troopers!" And then gives it doesn't immediately continue, but gives it like 2 seconds for everyone to like actually get in their seats and settle down.
Mm-hmm.
And then says, so command has, in their infinite wisdom, decided to task us with a mission that is going to take us beneath standard operating depth. So this is how it's going to go down. At roughly 800 hours tomorrow, we are going to initiate Operation Diving Tiger, with the ship firing several fusion warheads into the atmosphere. Now, they will be firing ahead of us, and the dropships will be following them in. Hopefully, they will create the first of the wakes that we're going to dive through, and then they're going to fire off away from our position, hoping to lure what remains of the enemy away, so that this isn't, so that we're not fighting crush pressure at the same time that we're fighting them. Now, I understand that this isn't going to be a cakewalk, and you're never going to get every single one of them. So I expect all of you to be on your toes and actually aiming at what you're supposed to be looking at. Look at the map here. The largest engagement of enemy troops is actually on this mass that we've detected. However, that is not what we're going for. We're going to try and push our way into Object Alpha here. So if you take a look at the map, the nukes will come in this direction, clearing the path for us and leading the way, whereas our drop site is going to be headed directly from this angle, hoping to shield us from anything that might be coming at us. We're going to try and land on top of the object above crush depth and then move our way in. As to how that's going to work without it being a suicide mission, Trooper Pasternak, take it away.
Right. So it's a modification of kinetic field armor. Some of you don't know about that, but armor has a built-in kinetic field to it. Basically, we've modified it so that the increase of pressure acts as an incoming attack that activates the field and pushes back against the atmosphere. However, there is just one problem. I have not figured out how to enjoy a nice cancer stick with this rig, as the armor must remain sealed the entire time. So no smoke breaks on this one, people.
Me and like 3 other people are like, fuck. Sorry, continue.
Lieutenant?
I'm not going to lie to you, troopers. This is not going to be the best day, but if you wanted to enjoy leisurely walks in the sun, well, should have stayed on Earth, huh? But we're here to kick ass and take names, so that's what we're going to do today. Everybody, I've issued double rations tonight, but I expect everyone to be bright-eyed and bushy-tailed at 800 tomorrow morning.
Give me an NFA roll, Strash.
Oh, all right. I gotta remember all my roll techniques here.
Your NFA is 8, as I recall.
Boom!
Nice.
Goodman raises their hand and has a quick question. Says, LT, those nukes count for your kill counter?
Perks of rank, my friend. Perks of rank. No, it's the captain's, unfortunately. She'll be staying on board this boat.
All right.
There's general kind of murmuring and grumbling about the modified kinetic field armor and depth and going in behind fusion detonations, but it doesn't raise to the level of outright like being dicks about it. You're able to kind of inspire a little bit of positivity among the troops here. Although you can see Cortez and Goodman are like, Cortez is like sitting next to Goodman now at the briefings, and she's kind of leaning over and saying something under her breath to Goodman, like she says, all I know is anything goes wrong with that stuff, nerd boy over there is going to pay for it. And she's like giving Pasternak this side eye.
And I wink back. I think she's giving me the eye, isn't she?
Definitely. Yeah. That's definitely what's happening.
I let that go. I don't correct her or anything like that.
Okay. So Morgan, I asked you before the game to prioritize in your build either ruggedness, efficiency, or something else. I just forgot what it was.
Compactness.
Compactness, right? In your modified kinetic field armor, and which of those did you choose?
I chose rugged.
Rugged. Okay. So it is neither compact nor is it efficient. So in its current configuration, the depth field, maybe we'll call it, is sufficient to protect the trooper from the crushing pressure deep down on this gas giant. It is ruggedized, which means when your troopers take harm, it won't break and turn off. So that's good. It doesn't mean it's like indestructible, but basically, like, unless something specifically targets it or you have some kind of catastrophic failure, like it breaking from usage or damage won't be on the table. It is not compact, however, so it's going to take up a weapon slot on your trooper. So you'll be able to carry a sidearm and another weapon, and the other weapon slot will eat the power from your suit and take up probably some kind of like extra power unit, because the kinetic field armor normally it's a lapel pin. It's this really advanced technology. Morgan, maybe correct me if I'm wrong, but maybe you had access to one before, so maybe you're able to use that one and like.
Well, that's where I got the idea, but yeah, I've got that one somewhere, I think.
Yeah, you're not supposed to like use it because you're not a major, but I think you have it around.
It's somewhere. Yeah,
it's somewhere. Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, we don't need to know the details of that. Yeah, so it basically does what that little lapel pin does, but it's in this big like half backpack thing, because obviously you don't have nano builders and all this sort of tech you need to actually make the pins. Yet. So it's therefore not compact, and the lack of efficiency means that you're on a timer. Your power cells are going to drain more rapidly. And Pasternak, again, correct me if I'm wrong here, I'm assuming you built the thing to take like a standard energy cell like you use in your weapon. Yeah. So it's possible to like unload a weapons like ammo charge into it to keep it going if you ran out of juice.
I definitely imagine something to the effect of like the Ghostbuster backpack thing.
Proton pack?
Yeah, proton pack.
Yeah. So its actual like lifespan isn't exactly known. You know for sure that like in your tests you've been able to run it for an hour continuously. Okay. After that, like you can feather the thing, right? You can kind of like when you get down to crush depth, you can play with it until like this is safe and it'll let the battery last longer. You can do that kind of business if you want to. But basically after the first completed encounter, I will start considering battery usage. That's how that's going to go. And being the assigned tech trooper, Morgan, you can investigate how much longer is left, try to do something about the battery usage. All of that is on you to sort out. But just know that battery efficiency and how long these things run is going to be a potential problem. You know that as the designer of the thing. So having said all that, my question is, what have you told the lieutenant? Have you talked to the lieutenant yet? Should we have a scene where you explain how these things work? Are you not going to do that?
I think rather than explain how they work, because that would be I don't know, maybe the lieutenant would get it, but no one else in the room would. So more just these are the concerns, right? These are the operational parameters that might occur.
Are you going to say that in the briefing in front of everyone?
No.
Oh, okay. You're just going to brief the lieutenant on potential problems.
Yep, and I'm still working on the cancer stick thing.
It's very important.
Priorities, Pasternak. Priorities.
I will definitely talk to you quietly, Pasternak. If you have a chance, if you ever like had a moment by yourself, I would definitely come over and be like, "No bullshit. How dangerous is this?"
No bullshit? Extremely. We're going beyond the crush depth of a drop pod, a thing that is meant to fly through atmosphere at burning hot plasma temperatures.
I don't know what that means, but what can we do to make sure that we're safe?
Don't get hit and go quick.
All right.
Resign your commission and go back to Terra.
Keep it on. Try not to get hit.
Get good. The get good strategy. Okay.
Yeah, get good. Get good.
Right.
316. Get good.
Get
all right.
dirty.
No, I look at you and I say, look, something happens to Cortez, it's your fault.
Yeah. Probably.
All right. All right, cool, man. No pressure.
Although, on the flip side, it's probably the captain's fault, really. But then again, didn't we all volunteer?
Yeah.
So in the end, whose fault is it really?
No, it's yours, Pasternak. It's I just look at you. No, it's definitely yours. All right, man.
Yeah,
look,
so
we've been through a lot. All
In
right,
this conversation, you're at the lockers, right?
Yeah.
The suits are coming down on the rails, and Cortez hears her name. She's on the other side of the room, and kind of looks back over her shoulder at you and winks. And
I wink back. She's into me. This is good.
things are turning up, Pasternak.
Oh man. Yeah. And so the suits come down and they've got this modification on them, and a couple of them like scrape very loudly because you built them to fit into these modules, but they're not exactly perfect, all of them. So one of them's like, this like horrible metal on metal screeching sound comes down, and sure enough, you look over your shoulder and it's Cortez, and she's looking at this thing with this like bright bit of where the paint's been rubbed off inside the rail system inside her locker, and she's squinting and just like not happy. But everyone dons their gear, steps inside. Cortez like readjusts it and leans forward so her back isn't against the rail, and then grabs on and hits the go, and everyone's green lights turn on, ding 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 ding, and you fire down into the dropship pickup system. So all of you get clipped in. The dropship doors close on the sides. The launch bay. We haven't done this yet. So on this ship, on the Savannah, it's a small sort of cutter. It only has one interior bay for a dropship. The other dropship just like magnetically attaches to the outer hull. So your platoon gets clipped into Lucille's system inside the ship, and the other one is external. So we see as the doors open and Lucille's dropship exits, instead of just like boosting down like they normally do for an attack run, she kind of just clips free and uses the maneuvering thrusters to roll out and turn so the lieutenant can see the other platoon and like confirm their position.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
And they get shot out of the EVA hatch on the Savannah, and we see them floating slowly, and Banshee's like turning and just has the big bay door open, and they all have to like EVA in the inside and clip themselves. So it takes a little time, but this is not quite this super mission time pressure kind of thing. So you're able to see that everyone gets picked up, and there's no fuck ups on the EVA, which is good. So everyone's good to go, and the 2 dropships come in wing to wing, angle down. Lucille looks back over her shoulder at you, Lieutenant, and waits for the order.
Yeah, I'm like at a console, like looking at something, and then I kind of like peer out the window, and then I nod, and like basically what I'm watching for is the like rotation of the ship and the like slow drop of like the things that are going to be leading our way here.
Yeah. So, Strush.
Yeah.
This is kind of an orbital bombardment, sort of.
Sure.
My question is, would you like it to be an actual orbital bombardment? Is it more tactical for the insertion plan?
Yeah.
Or is it also like for real hitting the planet with the payload?
I think it's definitely for the insertion plan. We've been like authorized to use 3, but like it carries, I don't know how many, but it's a lot more than 3.
Yeah, Savannah, like it's not a capital ship. If it empties all of its payload, it can do 1 orbital bombardment,
right?
And then it's out.
Yep.
So you're using like a partial bombardment essentially to get this done.
So like if they have like, I don't know, 50 warheads or whatever on it, I'm using like 3.
Yeah.
So
we haven't done this before, and this isn't a real one, but just to kind of get us trained up in the use of this technology here. To use this, the PC must be an officer, which you are.
Mm-hmm.
It sounded like when you were talking to Pasternak that you wanted Captain Hall to authorize this bombardment instead of you.
No. I mean, let's just we can roll with it. However, what I said was that the privileges of rank. If she's at the helm of the ship and dropping this stuff, I'm sure she'll claim the kills regardless. But if she doesn't care about that and she's like sipping tea and doing side stuff somewhere, and they want to assign it to me, I'll take it. I
think the latter is the case. You could be a stickler on protocol, and you could go through the proper channel. Okay, all right. So,
as a matter of fact, I probably mentioned this because like she seemed kind of disinterested. She's like, "I want you to get me back this thing, and I don't care how you do it." So I think I probably went to the bridge, and I was like, "We need at least 8," and they're like, "No, 1," and I'm like, 5, and they're like 2, and we settled on 3.
Okay.
So
yeah. That's fair enough.
Also, I mean, let's just real quick then. These will be your kills with the orbital bombardment?
Really?
So you lied to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, you lied to me. Okay, I just want to make sure that's also what's going on right now.
It wasn't, for what it's worth, in my head, because I don't care about kills, I didn't even register that as an important question.
Oh no, that's gonna be fine when we're
mentioned.
That's fine when our suits start decompressing, we start getting turned into a smush can. I'm gonna be cursing you for lying to me.
Thank you.
Also, I just want to say quick shout out to chat, who also imagined basically some rock music playing while this is all happening and getting into our ships, which is absolutely true. And and I'm also obviously, before my visor comes down, I'm smoking as many cancer sticks as possible to get them in. So I love that, like, literally both Leavington and Panic Control both just immediately like say exactly what was going on in my head while you were discussing the specifics of the orbital bombardment. So shout out to you for totally getting the vibe of the show.
I had some Fox on the Run playing in my head, but
nice. I think that's part of the system. When you clip into your rail system to get launched, your playlist starts inside your helmet. That's just part of being in 316.
Sunshine, lollipops, rainbows everywhere.
What to do and what to do when we roll for orbital bombardment.
How do we not play Holy Diver though? Like,
well, that's true. I mean, that's a good question. Very appropriate. Very appropriate.
So anyways.
Yeah, everyone gets a choice. It's like, would you like to play the platoon selection or your personal music?
Actually, we blamed that on Pasternak. It's whatever Pasternak decided because he's our musician.
That's true. That's true. He is.
And he probably overrode the system so that even if you're like, I would like some calm meditative sounds, and he's just like, holy diver.
Wait. Did you mean Goodman, or do you mean that that I used to do it and Pasternak is? Oh my god, damn it, Pasternak, you took my rock music. Oh my god. Okay, I didn't know about this. All right, you gave me. Oh, you gave me. Okay, thanks for the consolary prize. Okay, thank you. I'm so happy about this.
Just realized I can get into anybody's music.
No,
if I really want to.
Yeah, no. I love it. I love that we're like literally as the ship's getting ready to descend. And I'm sure we'll actually get into the mission. But like I'm like trying to navigate the playlist. It's like system denied. I'm like, so I literally go like, yo, Chief, what the hell is this?
Yeah, I had to reroute the control circuits through the music selection.
Oh, I just literally just mock you. Oh, I had to re-roll the circuits of the computer. Fuck you. like you just mute me, but like we can see my voice like just muted, just being like, fuck you. and then just continue.
Oh, well played.
Nice.
All right, shall we roll?
Yeah.
So, normally how it works is it's called in with a successful NFA on the officer's turn, which implies that you can use it in combat, which you can. Failure means that the call fails, but the bombardment is still available. So normally when you use a ship's planetary bombardment weapons, after the mission, the senior officers grill the character on why they called in the orbital bombardment. And you have to test NFA to avoid the demotion of 1 rank. So it's serious to use this kind of firepower. In this particular case, it's a little different, right? We're not using the ship's whole bombardment package, just a partial one. However, a successful NFA test is still going to be on the table. So what we see is like Goodman is watching, and you see over the lieutenant's shoulder, there's this panel. And the lieutenant is putting in the coordinates and the mission plan and like where the fusion explosions are going to happen. Basically what you saw before during the briefing. But then you see Young like code in her command code into the authorization system. Like you don't see the captain come up at all. It's just like authorization code, Lieutenant Young, D, and you wait for like the counter code from the captain, but that doesn't happen. It just takes Young's credentials and goes into the system, and the guidance system comes up and starts targeting. So you're going to test NFA, Strash.
Got it.
And this is going to determine. So instead of just, the call fails and you can use it next turn, and you're just going to keep rolling, that would be really boring. We're just going to make one NFA test, pass or fail for this, and I'll describe what happens.
All right, let's do it. It does. It works. I got a 3.
Nice. My roll 20 is behind. I'm going to reload.
No problem.
Cool. So the other question I have before I narrate the results, the captain wants a sample for the weapons division. The captain also mentioned Order 7, which is her order to ensure that no aliens survive on the planet. So, you know that that's what she wants. It sounds like that the briefing sounded like we're going to try to avoid fighting the whole planet's worth of aliens. We're going to get in and get out. That's what I heard.
Mission may have to end with an actual orbital bombardment. We'll see. Okay.
All right. So that was my question. Like the mission parameters that I was hearing were not. This is a full-on planetary assault. This is a go grab an egg or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. So and that also determines my starting threat tokens, which will be a standard complement and not the, oh my god, there's way too many of them complement. At least for now. So you do get to roll kills.
Oh, sweet. How many?
Let's see.
1,000.
Normally it's D1000.
We should probably do a little less. How about 100?
Let's do D100 for the partial.
Every time.
You were worried, Goodman.
Wow. That's that's incredible.
I cannot wait for the scene where Goodman gives me shit about having 6 extra kills because they were assigned to me.
Yep. Oh, you know it.
That is hilarious.
I mean, a real trooper never looks at the counter until after the mission. So, I mean, you're fine.
But I'm not a trooper.
We're all troopers.
No.
It's not sportsmanlike to look at the count before. No, I'm just kidding.
For people listening and not watching, that was a 6.
Out of
Young killed 6 aliens on the D100 roll.
I could have killed many more, but as somebody in chat pointed out, the kill counters don't work below crush depth.
That's what it is.
Well, that's going to really fuck up our kill counts.
They're unreliable.
Eh.
Yeah, it's hard for it to register.
Well, you know,
Maybe once you're down there, it'll work.
You should
groups
totally
of
register
aliens as opposed to single individual ones.
all complaints, direct them at Hall. She is one of the people that designed the kill counters. So
Wow, she goes way back. That's a long time ago. All right, 6 kills on the orbital bombardment. Wow, that's so good.
If it had been on a D1000, that would have been even better.
wait for it. It's coming.
Okay, now, so the first shot fires past the dropship. You see it go arcing down and detonate in the atmosphere. The 2 dropships turn and boost towards the cavitation created by the explosion. And this continues. I'm going to roll for Banshee. Strash, you want to roll for Lucille for me?
Yeah, I got you covered.
NFA 8.
As I recall, she's good. Always, Chief.
Yep,
Yeah.
Banshee's good too.
Our pilots are amazing.
Yeah, those were important rolls.
after everything's said and done.
I mean, flying through crushing pressure behind fusion explosions. This is important. You want to succeed on those. And you do. It's a crazy ride, right? The inside, the drops are always like very rattly and high G's. But this is just like, it's like a giant is smashing the dropship with a giant frying pan or something. It's just like, bah, 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 bah. The thing is just rattling. And as the detonations go off, and then as you go through the cavitation, you're like, the rapid pressure change like cracks against the hull, and the windscreen is cracking, and you're back to the high pressure area.
Some creaking sounds that are over all the other noises.
Yeah.
The hull just.
Yeah. And it's getting darker and darker and darker. The lights come on the dropships. Lucille's like, one of her searchlights immediately shatters, and the other one's cracking and giving way. And you can see through the cockpit door out the front windscreen. It's pitch black. There's cloud sweeping everywhere. It's sort of purpley, dark purple magenta clouds that are lit by static electricity. Occasionally lightning kind of crackles through the clouds. And you see silhouetted Objective Alpha, and on her screen there's a like flashing HUD element, and it kind of like the map we have here. It draws this outline like here's the objective. Thermal signatures detected, and each of these triangles on our map is like a cluster of 3, 4, 5, 10. As you get closer, they kind of multiply, and you see that, and it's sort of on the underside and interior inside the rock structure. As you're getting closer, the surface is all pockmarked, and it's got kind of beehive like passageways and holes throughout it. You can kind of see through it a little bit. It's a little bit like honeycombed in its structure. Yeah, that's all you can see from here. And Lucille flares up out the window. You see Banshee do the same. they're going to do a paired pass and eject all of you onto Alpha.
Warning: maximum crush death approaching.
Yeah, the ramp on Lucille's dropship, it comes down and then is sheared away as it comes down. The hydraulics just fail and the pressure like crushes one of them, and then the other arm can't take the load, and it just shears off the side. The warning siren is going off, and she's like, drop. This is an NFA test.
Oh, this is us individually, right?
Yep, it is.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
Fortunately, everyone succeeded up to this point, so you get the chance to do this.
Nope.
Ooh.
It's a big old pile of no.
I'm going to roll for Cortez because we care about her, and Ramos in your, let's see, let me write down their numbers so I don't forget here. She is NFA 3. 4.
It's not that I failed. It's that the ship itself also sheared me out of the thing as well. So it's not that I personally failed.
You didn't even have a chance to.
I didn't have a chance. That's really what that means. Let's be real here.
Ooh, negative. Goodman, you fail. Pasternak succeeds. Young succeeds. Yeah, so I think it's like fire teams, right? Divided. So on your side, Pasternak, you've got Ramos, Saramago, Shapley, and Kondo. And then on the other side, there's Goodman, Sato, Cortez, and Beckett. So on your side, your guys release the side doors open, and your guys are releasing backwards, kind of like falling backwards, like scuba divers, kind of. As you're tumbling back, you see Ramos. His suit catches it clips the depth field backpack modification, clips the top of the door, and instead of tipping backwards, it like rotates him the other way as he comes out, and it spins him, and he's tumbling away from the dropship, still roughly over the objective, but going the opposite direction from your drop. And then on the other side, Young, you see Goodman and Cortez. They eject just fine, but the insane storm, wind, depth, pressure conditions here rip them away from the rest of the fire team. So landing in one cluster is Pasternak's team minus Ramos, and then right next to them is Young's team deployed the way you wanted them. Goodman and Cortez are tumbling away. You see their suit lights just vanish into the darkness, and Ramos is alone. So you've got three areas of troopers right now. Everyone together, Ramos by himself, and Goodman and Cortez off that way. And right now, we're just stay in Young's POV. Like, you land, Lieutenant, everyone gets their weapons out, creates their like 360 security. And as you look up, the last bit of Goodman's suit light just disappears in the darkness.
What are the two fire teams one more time, John, so I can put them on the screen so we can all know? It was Goodman, Cortez, Seto, and Beckett, and what was the other one?
Let me just switch this over.
Oh.
So you can see it. It's at the bottom of this screen.
Yes.
So on first platoon on the left side there's Lieutenant Young, Sergeant Stone, Dietrich Goodman, Sato, Cortez, Beckett. That's one. And then Pasternak's is the other. Ping.
Yep. Ramos, Saramago, Shapley, and Kondo.
The only ones we've really seen much on camera, Cortez, obviously, kind of messing around with Goodman. In the last engagement, Ramos was sort of the shotgun guy that was blowing holes and stuff and helping out with the destruction of the facility.
Cool. Thanks, John.
Yep. And then let me make a roll for Tyrrell's team. They do it with a 1, the worst thing possible. So, oh my God, my vent is rattling. I'm in a high pressure situation. So the other thing you see, Young, is the other dropship, Banshee's dropping them as a cluster. They do not land exactly in their security area where you would want them, like the two of you sort of covering the top section of the rock. They come in at a bad angle, and they land on the sort of side, this right sheer side of the objective, and you see them hitting. Clouds of dust are kicking up. You can only see where your suit lights are pointed, basically. Other than that, it's pitch dark. So there's clouds of debris and dust are kicking up, and Tyrell's like, we're down. We're out of position. We're moving up. And you hear over the radio, they're like climbing up the side of the thing to get into position. But right now, it's just your team that's holding the top of the rock.
I think this is where Goodman showcases Young. This is where Young showcases a specific thing. So like most people will have like this big backpack that's eating up their power, right? And like they have like a big gun and they have their like sidearm or whatever. But Young, she comes in and like instead of having like a secondary big weapon, she's carrying the transmission device that we've seen since like episode 1.
The scanner thing?
The scanner thing.
Okay.
What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna jam I pull out like one of its like little metal bits and I jam it into the surface of this thing and I crank it up so that like we get some overlays and HUD so that we can see each other in the middle of this like noise and nonsense. And like I can detect if people have flown off into space never to be seen again because this is gas giant and farewell. But
or
like
landed on the rock. Gotcha.
That's what I'm doing.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Yeah. Test an FA.
Heck yeah. I do it.
2.
It's a 2. Not great, but I do it.
Let me just see what the AA result is here. It's a 1. Nice. Got lucky. Yeah, so this giant thing clamps down on the rock, and it like pings through it's like a seismic kind of like dun, 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 through the material. So what you've had up to now is this thermal reading down at the base inside the rock. But now you're getting like a deep scan, like a sonar almost. The interior structure gets revealed to some degree. And you detect, let me double check. Yeah. Goodman and Cortez landing on the surface on the far side. I'll describe your situation in a second, Eric. And you do not detect Ramos. You're like looking at the vector that you saw him flying away on in the darkness, and you're like, watch for the ping, and you see the two landing, Goodman and Cortez, and then nothing.
Are the radios working?
At very close range, yes. You can talk within, I don't know, 20 meters or something.
Okay, so calling out to Goodman. Or not
you can try.
to
Do you want to try to boost your radio or something?
Yeah, I'll try to boost my radio.
Yeah, test it.
Giant soldier Pasternak.
Nice. So, Eric, you and Cortez, you just are tumbling over in through the darkness for a terrifying few seconds. And then you land hard. Actually, hang on. I am going to do that. Hang on.
I mean, can you just imagine for a second how terrifying it must be to just literally feel like you're tumbling through nothing but just black, smoky clouds with distant static lightning going
It's
around
bad.
them? Like you can't see what the ground is. Like there's no ground.
Yeah. Test NFA, please. So remember your training. What
Yeah.
do you do?
Shoot it. So no, actually make it.
I got a 3. Okay, so you don't take a kill from your landing.
Yeah.
However, you punch through the surface. So the outer material of this thing is pitted and it's somewhat fibrous. It's rocky material. It's minerally, but you hit with enough force to crack it, and there's an interior void, like a tunnel or something. And you punch through that and tumble against the wall and then slide downward against the bottom of this clearly like alien bored tunnel. It's got like little marking tool or teeth markings or something that's made this more or less smooth kind of tunnel thing. Your suit light is swaying everywhere. Your suit is like making this horrible sound. It's like and just constantly making that sound. And you can see the kinetic field where the dust is hitting it kind of vibrating. And behind you, you hear or you feel like a pressure wave, like you would underwater, like something moving towards you.
Yeah.
Cortez gets her arm up in through the hole you made and levers her gun in with its beam shining and is like hanging on and swaying back and forth, trying to get her bearings. Your suit radio is just like, and then it gets clear for a second, and you hear Pasternak's voice.
Ramos, Cortez, Goodman, call out. Where are you? Ramos, do you hear me? God damn it.
So, yo, and I'm waiting for hear that kind of parts, right? And I'm like, Pasternak.
Goodman.
I'm like looking at Cortez while this is happening, right? Like if they're hearing it too.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, she can sort of hear you on the like local network, but
yeah,
she's just covering you and she's looking over your shoulder like
I know,
like she's aiming at something,
right? And I'm trying to like be like I'm looking at her, being like like I'm getting a radio signal, right? So I'm like Pasternak, come in.
Goodman.
Unknown, we're some sort of bored hole on the surface.
You mean a tunnel?
No,
technical jargon.
No, and I'm looking at it and I see like the bite marks. I'm like, tunnels are natural. This is not natural.
I'm not going to get into that there can be bug tunnels, but that's
Ask Young, what's the deal with the extra 6 kills? That's some bullshit. And she knows it.
Yeah, it is. Have you guys seen Ramos?
No, me and Cortez. What's the play? Sit tight. What?
Cortez is motioning to you.
Yeah.
She's motioning to you. Get down.
What's the play? I won't go until I hear the play.
She's like aiming a rifle basically at you.
Oh, then yeah.
And
I'm like, what's the play? What is the play?
Is Young able to get in on this, or?
Yeah, I think what I'm doing is, since I'm actually like pulsing out the scans, I'm gonna set up. This is essentially like a video game, but since we have like HUDs, I'm gonna try and set a waypoint for all of us to like congregate on. Since we like all fell around peppered, it's like dive in and go here. So like I can maybe see like where the tunnels go a little bit, so we can have a meetup area.
Yeah, rendezvous point. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, rendezvous point. There you go.
Okay,
those are things.
Yeah, that's what I need to know for the next thing that happens here. So your order as the mission leader is whatever else is going on, everyone go to this point.
Yeah.
That I'm putting on your HUD. Okay. Cool.
Do we get that? Question mark.
Well, we'll find out. Just before I think we need to take our first break, but just before that, Eric, you hug the bottom of the tunnel, and Cortez like just cuts off a burst. She has a heavy machine gun and just and she just keeps shooting. You don't know, you can't see what's going on back there, but she's just holding the trigger down. Just tracers going over your head. And then your suit's like, boop, the screen kind of flickers and gets all staticky, and you see the HUD of the rock and the like lieutenant's objective layout of the map, and you see this like waypoint thing, and it starts dancing around on your HUD. It's like
Oh yeah, just joking
hopping all
around.
over the place. And we'll see what happens. We'll come
Okay.
back.
All right. Cool. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in about 5 minutes or so. Everybody, we'll see you on the other side of our break. So take care. All right.